This is Ollie.
This is the only podcast that matters.
And it is. And it's also a mini episode.
A little mini one.
Which still matters.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter less.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we talking about today?
Man, today's the anniversary of the death of Joe Strummer.
Joe Strummer.
22 years ago today.
Yeah.
He passed away.
He died like 2 years before I got into the Clash.
I was going to text you about that today.
Really?
Yeah.
I was so sad. I became obsessed with them overnight. I was 14 and they instantly became my favorite band. And as soon as I started doing my research, I was like, he died 2 years.
Just a second ago.
Yeah. I was like, I'll never see my favorite band.
Can you imagine if Paul wasn't alive still? We would just give up.
Paul Simonon is the love of both of our lives and the bassist, for those of you who are not familiar with the Clash.
But today we're here to talk about Joe Strummer.
Talk about Joe Strummer because it's the anniversary of his death. And in celebrating his life, we have created an account on Pattern, an astrology app
for Joe Strummer.
Him. And we've looked at our compatibility. So, let's talk about our compatibilities.
Well, first of all,
chart.
Joe's a Leo, right?
Joe is a Leo. Love a fire
love
sign.
that for him.
I'm not going to go through my whole chart, but I'm a Gemini.
Yes.
I'm a double air sign, Aquarius moon. You're a triple fire sign.
Yes.
We don't have to go into our whole charts, but just keep in mind, you're an Aries, I'm a Gemini, he's a Leo.
Yeah.
Anyone who has any basics on astrology, I don't think anyone who doesn't like astrology is listening to this episode. So you probably know what I mean.
Yeah. Last week we were texting about what all of the members of the Clash's signs were.
Yes.
We got in there.
Topper is a Gemini.
Topper's a Gemini.
Mick is a Cancer.
And Paul's a Sagittarius.
Paul's a Sagittarius.
Excuse us.
Okay.
But today we're going to talk about Joe. We used an app called The Pattern, which you have, if you're into astrology and if you haven't checked out The Pattern, I recommend it. It's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
Yeah.
CoStar is very fun for like little things every day, and it's it's definitely fun. But The Pattern does a deep dive, which is obviously
what we need to do with Joe Strummer.
To imagine, there's a timeline out there, if you believe in this stuff, where Joe Strummer didn't die, and our podcast gets famous enough,
and he comes on
it, and
then we become friends.
We have a legendary friendship. My category on The Pattern: you and Joe as friendship, legendary.
Mine's just golden, and I'm a little jealous.
Golden's
but
good.
Also I'm so happy for you.
Golden's good.
Yeah.
I bet you're super compatible with Mick.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
We'll do that next.
So what did it have to say about you and Joe as friends?
My snapshot. You and Joe have an unusually strong connection. Which I knew it.
I knew you did.
I know. Even if there are other tensions between you, doubt it, there's an aspect of the connection that is especially enjoyable. Which is literally what I was going to say.
Yeah, right.
Literally.
Sometimes you read a comparison on astrology, you're like, duh.
Yeah, you're like, who's giving who the news here?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your intro?
I had some good, I don't remember what the intro was. It was something about, if we put the work in, if we both are dedicated to this friendship, which we obviously both are, you know what I mean?
Right. In what world is he
me and Joe not dedicated to our friendship?
To each other, yeah.
So it's as long as you guys put the work in, this friendship will grow to be a beautiful thing.
I see that happening.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So my next category here says, you probably want to spend as much time with Joe as possible. I do.
Yeah, obviously.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's why we're here today. It's empowering to be around each other. He has qualities that are ideal for you and a friend and represents the type of person who is most supportive for you and the person you're becoming. That's so funny because he was the voice in my head when I was becoming who I was at 14.
Yeah.
More than Mick. Mick wrote great songs, but Joe cared about he was the driving force behind the political ideology behind the band.
Yeah.
And that's what really got me into it.
Exactly,
I was very into political science in high school. How, is astrology fake?
Tell me it's fake after reading that. Tell me it's fake. And knowing you and Joe's relationship. So one of my first things that it brought up was our spiritual path and how we're aligned in that. So for both you and Joe, the fastest way to reach your destiny is to learn how to receive and take in pleasure of what you enjoy in life. You know what I mean? In a way, you two share a similar spiritual path. This means that ideally, when either one of you is in doubt, you should connect to the present moment. If it doesn't feel right in your body, then it's not for you. Slowing down and allowing yourself to savor your experiences will be the most helpful stepping stones in fulfilling your life's attention. Joe taught me this.
He did.
He taught me how to do this. And I don't mean that, like, I mean that the way that he wrote his music is something that I still, like, think about today when I'm trying to focus on what is important to me.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so real. I've got one that's quite flattering for me.
Please.
Well, I think so. It might not be a compliment to everyone. Joe's often drawn to provocative friends who bring excitement and intensity, and you're likely no exception.
Yeah. Yes.
True.
I love that for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is making me feel so much closer to Joe Strummer from The Clash, who died 22 years ago.
Yes. It's really affirming the relationship I knew we had.
I know.
All along. It's possible that he enjoys friends who push him deeper and get him to explore hidden feelings and behaviors, but at the same time, this pattern can make him overreact or feel inhibited.
Poor
Not
buddy.
my intention.
Yeah, right. You didn't set out to do that. Yeah.
I'm an exciting person.
Yeah, exactly.
I push people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, every friendship takes work.
I'm likely unaware of my effect on Joe. What effect?
Well, sometimes when you're when you walk in the room, he brightens up a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He loves me.
He loves you. You know what's sad is, like, I have actually a fair amount of friction with Joe in our charts. You know what I mean? And it's something that I don't think we would experience in real life.
No. Astrology is maybe fake.
It doesn't always get it right.
It's not.
According to the pattern, there's some friction between Joe. A part of me naturally draws attention. I'm powerful and charismatic.
You are.
And I just take that to mean that Joe doesn't like it when I outshine him.
You gotta be you, baby.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the Clash.
I know.
He can share the
Let
stage.
me have a moment. You know what I mean?
Hello? I don't like that for him.
Yeah.
Honestly. I think you should be the triple fire sign that you are.
Yeah.
And a Leo's gonna be a Leo.
Yeah.
Leos want to be in the spotlight, and they can be. But so can you.
Yeah. And he's already had, like, the lead singer of the Clash role.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is probably why it's good that Mick was a Cancer.
Why?
Because Mick doesn't need to be in the spotlight the way.
Oh, right, of course, yeah.
You can't have two Leos being the lead singers of the Clash.
Joe's also a Virgo moon, which I feel like would really complicate things.
Yeah. Virgo is a complicated sign.
Yeah.
You and Joe are learning to take it easy and be more present in the moment. Just hanging out and enjoying what you're doing is important. You're meant to slow down and not rush. If there's conflict, it might be because there's no definitive decision maker in the friendship. It's important that you both take turns doing the planning, even if it doesn't come easily.
That's so cute.
We are just chilling. Me and
What
Joe,
do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
We're just chilling too hard.
Yeah.
Like, stop chilling and do something, you guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, me and him are vibing.
Yeah, you guys are getting off to an amazing start.
I'm a little
of this
bit
friendship.
nervous that Paul being my man would get jealous.
A little bit jealous
but
of
he
that.
shouldn't be threatened.
Yeah.
I don't see Joe like that.
No, I don't think Paul has any issues with jealousy or self-esteem.
No, he's the sad.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of him probably. I'm like, could you come back over here?
Yeah.
Who'd you come here with tonight?
One of my favorite ones that I got is and it was the first one that showed up, is a past life deep bond. I have a past life deep bond with Joe Strummer of The Clash.
I believe that.
With Joe, there could be a sense that you've shared a past. Right away, your connection seemed familiar, like you knew each other well. It just felt natural to be in each other's presence.
I knew it.
It's probably enjoyable to spend time together because there's built-in trust, comfort, and understanding between you. With him, it could seem like you're just picking up where you left off, like you're compelled to be in each other's lives. And I have to tell you that the first time that I listened to The Clash, it didn't feel like I was listening to a new band.
Yeah.
It felt like I was listening to a
home.
band that I'd loved my whole life.
That is so amazing.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
astrology isn't fake, actually.
No, so we're back on real?
Yes,
Okay,
astrology
cool.
is real.
Okay, cool. Phew.
Let's see how this one goes. All right, with Joe, you likely feel more secure, comfortable, and confident. His presence brings a supportive, encouraging, warm energy. It just feels good when you're together. You support each other. He's not going to rush you or pressure you to downplay your needs. Is that not what Joe does for all of us?
Yeah, for real.
Is he not just comforting and building confidence and supporting us and making us feel encouraged and warm? That is the Clash. They're like, follow us. Mm-hmm. Like, that's so his role. I mean, obviously I'm special because that's...
Right, because you have it.
I have it in writing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good one for us. What else you got?
I think that those are like the best positive ones. No, I am going to read this one. This one is interesting. Joe's bringing attention to any vulnerability concerning your career or public life.
Okay.
So that you can overcome your fears. So he's helping me overcome my fears.
He's really a good friend. Maybe your friction is just about
It's just
timing.
That's
a good friend.
It's just timing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
At times, this dynamic may feel painful or uncomfortable, but facing your wounds is how you can ultimately heal them. If there's any lingering pain from a separation, abandonment, or betrayal in your past, Joe can help you move beyond it. Truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah.
They have gotten me through just about every phase of my life that was hard. There's a song.
Never been a phase of my life where I didn't have a favorite Clash
They have
song.
a song that will get you through it.
Anything.
Yeah.
From a schoolboy crush to globalized political issues.
Yeah, right.
The whole range.
Like solving world problems.
About your own little feelings and about the feelings of humanity.
So what happens when your girl leaves you?
I know. So good. I have Joe's likely the kind of friend who brings excitement and spontaneity to your life. Your connection may not always be predictable, and it's possible you could have met in unusual circumstances, like beyond the grave. Like, should we pull the Ouija board out?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to go buy a Ouija board. In any case, Joe likely keeps you on your toes. If you're someone who's used to being in control, you could feel challenged by this dynamic. You may also appreciate the stimulation he brings. It's like Joe's helping you learn something new.
Oh, I love that. This is what Joe Strummer trained you for.
He taught me my whole life. He's been teaching me. This is what he taught us.
The last one that I have that I kind of felt was special.
They're all special.
You take Joe seriously as a friend. It could seem like he's an important influence and could be part of your life for the long term.
Yes. Probably the rest of your life.
Probably the rest of my life.
How old were you when you got into the Clash?
I think about the same age, like 14.
14.
But
it's a perfect age.
I was going to text you this morning because I think I was 14 in 2000 and I was 14 22 years ago. So I got into them the year he died.
Yeah, it was 2004 for me.
Yeah. That's so sad.
Don't worry, we're going to be friends in the afterlife.
Yeah, of course.
First of all, we're friends with him on an astrology app now.
If anybody has any doubts about this, we will screenshot our pattern. It says bond with Joe Strummer.
Wait, we should just start making up our own. What else do you have on this? Any other Joe Strummer astrology stuff? I mean, R.I.P. to the legend.
Yeah.
The reason the Clash is called the only band that matters is because they are the most political band who had the most important statements on the most important issues. And that was what Joe brought to the table.
Yeah.
They all did. But Joe is the one who was raised in different countries by parents who were very aware of global issues. Right. Joe is the reason that they are the only band that matters, in my opinion.
And that's where we got our name, the only podcast that matters.
And that's where we got our name, the only podcast that matters. It's a Clash reference.
One of my favorite... It's a Clash reference. One of my favorite facts or stories about Joe that I heard is that when they were sort of writing... I think it was when they were writing London Calling specifically. He was taking the bus, public transportation around London with his diary and his journal. He was just writing down what he was thinking and writing down what he saw out the window. And then he would take it back to rehearsals, which was the name of their rehearsal space, believe it or not.
So funny that they did that. They were so funny.
He'd take it back there, and then him and Mick would sort of pour over it, and they would write their lyrics based on these just free writing that Joe did while he was riding around the city.
Best stage name. Maybe ever.
Joe Strummer.
I want to do a top 10 stage names as one of our mini episodes, but Joe's got to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
Joe, his real name was John Graham Malore, which doesn't have a ring to it at all. He went by Woody Malore for a while because of Woody Guthrie. Just a little on the nose, so just name yourself.
After Woody Guthrie.
After Woody Guthrie.
But it shows what mattered to him.
Yeah. And his early stuff is very different than The Clash. But Joe Strummer, let's not take for granted that we've heard this name for more than half of our lives. If I just came up to you and what do you think if I went by just Joe Strummer? You'd be like...
That's pretty cool.
That's almost too...
Yeah, it's too good.
Much of a character. Just any average Joe, right?
Yeah.
Just Joe. Strummer, because he could only strum all of the strings or none of the strings. He could just strum.
I didn't know that.
He couldn't do it. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I can strum all of them or none of them. That's why I'm Strummer.
That's great.
Joe Strummer. Best stage name.
Yeah. I mean, there's not enough things that I could say that I love about him.
No, wait till our Clash episode. Our Clash episode is going to be like a 4-parter.
Yeah.
I have so much to say.
And if you don't like that, just get your own podcast.
Get your own fucking podcast.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening.
This has been the only podcast
This has been the only podcast that matters.
Rest in peace, Joe Strummer. Rest in power, Joe Strummer.
Rest in power, Joe Strummer.